Oh, I can do that.
Nude models.
Take the shirt off right now.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going through the days.
Mm-hmm.
It's not depressing. I'm in a good mood. I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are getting older, so they're starting to do more things on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So I have more time to myself.
Nice.
Chloe's
driving already.
Yeah.
So.
Because I didn't want 15 and a half to 16. 6 months is not enough time to learn 301. So you got to teach them when they're 10.
Yeah, I think 6 years is plenty.
Yeah.
Think of good drivers. Do you know any good drivers under 22?
I don't know any good drivers in Charles County or St. Mary's.
So it takes about 6 to 10 years to actually be considered a decent enough driver.
Yeah.
Your insurance seems to think so. They don't think you're a good driver till you've been doing it for 10.
I know. So I'm 25, then it really drops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I don't want to think about her driving right now.
Yeah.
I think she's going to start driving at 18, just knowing her. She
Really?
needs an extra 2 years. Yeah.
Sarah was that way. She didn't drive until she, the year before she went over to college or something. I think she was a senior.
Yeah.
I had a little brother, so I had to start driving immediately so I could drive him around.
Yeah.
And I wanted to.
Oh, that's a benefit.
I could not get out driving soon enough.
Yeah.
I've already started with the kids. Anna's driven in my lap before.
Oh, that's cool.
Take them to the parking lot at Laurel Springs or something and drive them around.
Yeah.
So.
I still don't know how to drive stick.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's your new thing. Come on, let's hop in my truck.
All right.
I love stick.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
I'm just like, I keep wanting to say too many pedals. It's only one more, but I'm just like,
Well, it's a whole other foot.
Yeah.
It's not like when you drive an automatic, you
put your foot, your other
one on the gas, one on the brake.
Yeah.
That actually, I did that once because I learned on a stick. My first car was a Volkswagen Beetle, and going over and driving my dad's Civic, I think it was, that only had 2 pedals. One time I went out to drive and I was just so used to driving a stick. I had one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. And I went to slow down.
You're like,
and I slammed both feet down as if I was going to clutch and brake at the same time. One went into the gas, one went into the brake. And the car just went like really quick lurch.
Wait, so if you press an automatic, if you press the brake and the accelerate at the same time, does the brake override this?
Usually, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But on a clutch, I would typically start pressing the brake first before I need to put the clutch in to downshift or to just idle.
Yeah.
So I slammed on the gas before my other foot caught up on the brake. So I wanted to slow down and it sent me through the stop sign before the foot on the brake completely sent me flying forward. Because that's the other thing on the clutch is when you push in on a clutch, there's not much resistance. So you can push it all the way down to the floor really easily, but you do that with brakes and you slam on the brakes.
Yeah, boom. Yeah.
Hit your head on the steering wheel. But yeah, I could teach you how to drive a stick if you were interested.
Okay.
I've actually, back on my Volkswagen, I taught like 4 or 5 friends in high school how to drive a stick.
I'll take you up on that one day.
Truck's not as forgiving as a Volkswagen was, but
yeah,
not a problem. You're an adult.
Well, because
You've made it 35 years.
Yeah.
It's time you learn how to drive a stick.
Well, Janie, her Toyota dream car is a stick.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
And you don't know how to drive her car? No. Well, then we'll learn on your car. If we're going to break a car,
break mine?
Break your third one.
Yeah. Yeah. But, this year I just want to, I get so stressed out with all those, like, entrepreneur books, and, like, I don't know, it's like a competition in my mind. I'm like, oh, I'm not reading this book. Oh, man, I'm not reading John Acuff's new book. Oh, man. So I think I'm just going to, like, back off that thought process and just, like, read some fiction and just enjoy it. Because I feel like it's a punishment. Reading is a punishment if I have to read nonfiction business, So that's something I'm just trying to get myself into this year.
Cool. I think if you can, the only thing I'd be worried about is not, if the business books overwhelm you with too many ideas, then back off of them.
Mm-hmm.
But if not reading business books therefore leads to laziness,
The other side, yeah.
in thinking about what you want to do with your life,
Yeah.
then maybe you need one or two
Yeah.
in there to keep that moving.
Yeah.
So
No,
if you're going to take a year off from reading business books, let's make sure you're not then also taking a year off from business.
Mm-hmm.
Because you haven't talked about it on this podcast, but we need to make sure we're not taking a year off from working for yourself. So.
Nah. Yeah, it's like, young people in college, they do 1 year of college and they're like, well, I don't know what I want to do. Let me just take
Find
a semester
myself.
off. And then a semester off is really just code for I'm not going back
Not going
ever.
back for 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same way with my goals this year. Like I said, I don't have them outside of the gym.
Yeah.
My goal for 2017 is to still be working for myself. If I could accomplish that, then I'd be a success.
Mm-hmm.
And if I make it to the end of the year and decide I don't want to work for myself either,
Who cares? Yeah, that's what you want to do.
It'll be a decision I make then.
Yeah.
So that's the hard part, is you make goals like I want to still work for myself, but I've known plenty of friends who have thrown in the towel and
Mm-hmm.
gone back to employment, and
Yeah.
after a period of working for yourself, the prospects of that might still look good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of it right now as like failure or admitting that I couldn't do it,
Yeah.
but I could be a successful employee again.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm not sure what I want to say. I don't want to be an employee again. I don't want anybody to think that.
Yeah.
I'm coming up on 5 years working for myself,
Yeah.
and I've managed. And I'm not in the worst position I've been in the past
Yeah.
5 years.
But when you say you don't want to be an employee again, are you picturing the
Time
last
sheets.
job you had? Yeah.
Yes.
So, but it doesn't have to be that way because
No, it doesn't.
you're not an employer like that.
Right.
So if you worked for somebody with your
Yeah.
thought process, it doesn't have to be.
I think where I'd be successful is if I was a consultant for an employer, where I come in and I work with somebody for a couple months, even long term, like a year or something like that, but they don't direct my schedule and they don't account for all my time and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
I've got a project that's about to take off. I'm going to be working with another CPA. She's got a customer who's a property manager, and they've got
Oh yeah.
like 20 something properties that need to get organized for 2016 so they can file the taxes. And I'm going to be working on that job, getting them organized and getting them set up with an accounting system and stuff.
Cool.
And I'm actually going to be working with this other CPA for the next year, because I will probably handle the accounting for this property manager for the first year until everything can get organized, it can all be working well. And then if I decide I want to move on, I can pass them off to her accounting team. So I actually am in kind of a long-term, closer than associate, because we're going to be talking on a frequent basis, but not really an employee, because this is the only job where we have any overlap on. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for 2017.
Yeah.
I say still be in biz in 2017 is my goal, but I've got a couple projects that I'm working on this year. So one this week, I just actually registered a new URL for a new website and business
Okay.
called Property CFO. So
Cool.
this is something I've been thinking about for the past 2 months, of getting into building accounting departments for property management companies instead of startups,
Yeah.
because startups have no cash. And I've lost 2 clients over the past 2 months that have, their investor goals and securing cash hasn't kept in line with their product development and stuff. And they're not where they need to be to actually have income coming in the door. So they had to let me go.
Wow. Yeah.
So that kind of sucks to be
Yeah.
having been doing that now for 4 years that I've been working with startups. The cash flow cycle of, the 3 customers that I have left, I've had for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So they're pretty stable.
Stable. Yeah.
One of them two of them actually produce a lot of cash each month. They can keep me around, but just both of those clients that I've lost, I've brought on in the past year. And it's like I've worked to bring on 2 new customers in the past year, and then within 6 months, they're gone. So I want to move into something with a little bit more stability.
Yeah.
And what's more stable than a building, right? Those don't ever go down in value.
Never. No.
Or go unrented.
Yeah.
So, so that's my idea.
Cool.
I'm working on that. I just started another business this week with
Did you?
Chuck and Chris from my gym.
Oh, yeah.
So this is an idea I got last year when I was equipping my gym. I drove up to Westminster, which is like north of Baltimore, to buy some gym equipment from a guy who buys and sells used gym equipment.
Yeah.
So we decided we're going to start it. So
Cool.
We've been focusing on that this week.
That's awesome.
We're going to get a storage unit in Waldorf this summer, probably after we stockpile some stuff, and then we're going to open it up and start selling stuff. So,
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool.
Right now is the best time to buy used gym equipment.
Yeah.
Because people are going to realize their New Year's resolutions didn't stick.
Yeah.
So they're going to be selling plates and benches and stuff like that. So.
Lightly used. Let me turn that thing. Ay, ay, ay.
Hadoken!